Alternative Facts Chicago.
Chicago's #1 podcast.
Chicago. The city of Chicago. Alternative Facts Chicago.
Chicago's #1 podcast.
Our favorite city.
Audio file production.
The city of Chicago. This is episode 86 of Alternative Facts Chicago. Gonna have a great episode, lots to talk about. This is B.Hun back again.
And Cait. This episode is brought to you by our friends at Showtime and The Shy. The heart and soul of Chicago Southside lies in its community, but when your world is a daily struggle just to get by, can you rise up and stand tall to realize a better tomorrow? Watch as Ronnie, Brandon, Emmett, and Kevin confront the tough choices that will shape their future on The Shy. It's produced by Emmy winner Lena Waithe and Academy Award winner Common. Check out new episodes Sunday nights going on now. And you can check out all of episode 1 and get caught up on episode 2 with a free trial of The Shy. Go to showtime.com and use the promo code alternative after checkout. Let them know you got it here and enjoy a free month of Showtime.
Yep, that show is dope. It's been doing great. You all caught up yet? You've been watching still?
Yeah, well, I'm an episode behind of this season because I had to catch up on season 1, but
Okay.
I'm pretty close to catching up, so I'll be able to watch this Sunday live, so I'm excited.
That's dope. And what do you got going on this weekend? I know you got some plans.
Yeah, I'm going to Atlanta. I hope my friends don't listen, actually, because I'm surprising them for their birthday, and I'm also surprising my mom for her birthday. My mom and 2 of my best friends all have birthdays in the last week of April. And I've never successfully surprised my mom with anything, literally with anything, birthdays or presents or anything. She always knows, but I actually think I have her tricked this time and she doesn't know I'm coming. And partly because I've avoided her for the last week, so I wouldn't give it away, but that's fine.
So she probably knows something up since you've been avoiding her when you normally talk to her, right?
Well, not avoiding her. I've just been busy, quote busy, but actually I really am busy at work. So I don't know.
I feel that.
I don't think she knows. I talked to her best friend actually earlier this week, and she said she had no idea probably. So. And
she's not going to listen to this episode and ruin the surprise.
No. She doesn't like this podcast.
Well, dang. Thanks, Mom.
Well, she just doesn't like what we talk about. She's not in sports and stuff.
Yeah, I hear that. I respect that.
Yeah. What you got going on this weekend?
I have absolutely no idea. It's been a busy month, so I'm going to try to just take it easy. I say that. It never happens, so I'm sure you'll see me on social media doing something crazy. I am going to a pool party on Sunday, so I know that'll be fun. But I just need to chill out a little bit because I know it's funny being in warm weather all the time. It's always summertime, it feels like, but it actually really isn't even summertime yet. So that's still coming. There'll be a lot going on, but I'm excited to actually take it easy, maybe catch up on some shows. I did miss the last episode of The Shy, so I'm hoping I can catch up and watch that. All my friends here are huge into Game of Thrones, and I'm like, maybe I'll take a weekend and actually watch it. But then probably not. Probably not gonna happen.
Don't do it.
Sounds good in theory, but it probably won't happen. I know all those that listen that love the show. I'm sorry. No hate, but just not for me. NBA playoffs, we're going to talk about that a little bit later. I'll definitely be watching that because the second round's coming up and it's going to be some good series going on. So we'll talk about that later in the episode.
For sure. Speaking of B.Hun doing some crazy stuff on social media, make sure that you join in the conversation. We're always posting news, things that we get to talk about on the episodes and things that we obviously don't get to on Facebook. So follow us, Alternative Facts Chicago, same handle for Instagram. And then on Twitter, we're at AFacts Chicago. So you can tweet to us there. Give us your ideas, what you want to see. Your input. We'd love to see it. And then you can also follow me, Cait Hassett, on Twitter and on Instagram, Cait No Jenner.
Yep. And you can find me at B.Hun1984 on Instagram as well as Twitter. I'm always talking some nonsense on Twitter, so follow me. Join the conversation. It's always something hilarious going on over there. Our Facebook, Alternative Facts Chicago, is popping. Always got a lot of articles, stories on there. Love the engagement, so make sure you keep that up. You can always email us show ideas, sponsorship ideas to alternativefactchicago@gmail.com. Always, we're on iTunes as well as Spotify, Google Play, Podbean as well, and SoundCloud at Alternative Facts Chicago. So make sure you subscribe on every location. I think the views have been going up, the spins have been increasing. So we do appreciate the support for the old listeners, current listeners, as well as new listeners we have picked up. So we always thank you for supporting Chicago's #1 podcast. That's all I got. Did I miss anything?
No. That's everything. Oh, YouTube. Awesome. We never talk about that, but you can also find us on YouTube.
You know what? We've been slacking on the YouTube page. I think we need to pick that up. I think we're going to make a conscious effort to pick up the YouTube page. Our shows are all on there, but I feel like we need to do more visuals. We need to work on that. So
okay.
I think we'll make a pact. Do you think so? I feel like we should do a little more visually on YouTube. You said no?
No, I said yeah. For sure.
Yeah, I think it'll be a good idea. So we'll work on that. That'll be the next phase of evolution of Alternative Facts Chicago. How about that?
Okay.
Speaking of evolution, Chicago meets Tampa. It is festival season. It is starting very soon. Everyone that knows me knows I love music festivals, whether it's hip hop, EDM, R&B, doesn't matter. I love live music. I love being around people that love live music. It's always a great time. And this year, for the first time ever, City of Chicago, Alternative Facts Chicago, we are branching out, going to other podcasts in other cities. So in Tampa, they were having Sunset Music Festival 2019 over Memorial Day weekend. It's going to be outside of Raymond James Stadium, in the stadium as well, too, where the Tampa Bay Bucks play. So great venue, great time. Memorial Day weekend is always a great time, no matter where you are. So headliners this year is Zed. We have Cascade from Chicago, Millennium as well, Rusco, Flux Pavilion, who else? Zed's Dad's there as well, Matzo, Gabriel in Dresden, among many more. So tickets are on sale right now. It's an amazing lineup over Memorial Day weekend. If you want information or ticket information, you want to come check us out, make sure you reach out to me, reach out to Cait as well at alternativefactchicago@gmail.com. We have started promoting it on social media too, so definitely will be there over Memorial Day weekend. It's a 2-day event. You'll still have the rest of the weekend for the other 2 days to have your fun. But make sure you come out if you are in Tampa or want to be there. Tell them Alternative Facts Chicago sent you, and definitely excited. Can't wait for the event.
Cool. It's going to be awesome.
Yes, ma'am. What we got? Let's get into some topics.
Yeah, absolutely. So to start out with some political news, we announced not long ago on Alternative Facts Chicago back in February that Elizabeth Warren had thrown her name into the presidential running for 2020 to take on Bernie Sanders and Joe Biden. I gotta laugh when I said I'm sorry. And then also obviously Trump. So it's going to be a really big election year. Hopefully you are already starting your research and checking it out because things are already starting to happen and develop. And speaking of Elizabeth Warren, she's always proposed things, even when she was, trying to advise with Obama and work together when he was in office. She's always proposed plans that taxed the wealthy. And this is no different. She has announced that she would want to cancel, I literally mean cancel, student loan debt for thousands of Americans by putting a new 2% tax increase on the upper 1%. So It's a really interesting article. We'll make sure to post it on social media. But basically, she's saying a 2% annual tax increase for families that have over $50 million right now could help wipe out millions of dollars in student loan debt for people that are currently owing to the government, to private facilities, a little bit of both. And what's really interesting about her whole plan is that they're already projecting that 40% of people with student loan borrowing right now are going to go into default on their student loan debt by 2023. And there's a lot of economic factors that go into that, like the jobs that people are getting out of college because of the competition aren't making enough money to cover, living expenses, let alone the money that they owe back in student debt. And,
Right.
we've already heard like the arguments from all sides, like, millennials feel like their parents push them into college debt, and then like the resources aren't really there, and student loans doesn't make up for the fact of inflation and this, that, and the other. But Elizabeth Warren thinks that she has the plan to cover it. So it would wipe out student loan debt for millions of people who owe up to $50,000, which I think most people I know owe that or less. I mean, depending on if you went to higher education, got your master's and beyond. And they're also saying that it would boost the economy, because if it freed up money in people's budgets, they would be able to put it back into businesses and investing and doing other things for our economy. So I think it's really interesting. I think he's going to get a lot of votes for this. And it's interesting that she's coming from the student loan perspective without slinging around the word socialism, which was what I think our buddy Bernie Sanders did wrong when he ran a few years ago. So what are your thoughts on this?
So I think it's an amazing idea. I feel like it's going to have terrible or even no execution whatsoever. And the reason being is because it sounds great in theory. And what happens each and every time we have in a presidential election, a candidate that wants to win tries to gear at the hearts of people who they know need a certain situation. Student loan debt is a huge, huge problem in America, with being over $8 trillion affected by those who have student loan debt in 2018 alone. That's where we are as a country right now. That's astronomical. Coming out as a presidential candidate and saying you're going to wipe that money and that debt away from over 42 million Americans, absolutely you're going to get the support of those that are in student loan debt. And for the millennials and those just recently coming out of college with all that debt, they need someone to vote for. Yes, in theory, it sounds amazing, but in order to make these things happen, in order to make these decisions and the votes happen in terms of making those changes, it's going to take a lot. And when you're taxing people, the 1 or 2% of people taking that money from those that have it to give to those that don't, this would have happened a long, long time ago. And if you have those in the Senate, in the House, that will be part of that 1%, that will be part of that 2%, are they really, really going to want their money being taken away to take student loan debt from those that have that debt right now? My guess, in a perfect world, is absolutely, positively not. It would take a lot to get those to vote for this. And then people just think when you're president, you can do whatever you want. No, it's just not the case. So at the end of the day, it's a great, great theory. I think it will be perfect. I mean, at the end of the day, they send these people to college to get these degrees, to come out and have no job, and you're $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 in debt later. It's a crazy, crazy system. It's where we are, but it's been an issue for a long time. We definitely need that debt erased. I'm a logical person to know that. But to take it from those who have the money right now, I just don't think it's going to happen. Sorry to be a Debbie Downer on it. I just don't think it's going to happen. So let me ask you, do you think it actually is going to happen? Outside of it being a great idea, which it is, do you think something like that would actually pass?
So I think and it's good that you brought it up. Like, it might not be executable. And, of course, for me, like,
is that a word?
Executable? Yeah, for sure.
Oh.
For sure. Moving on. So so it might not be able to happen, but what I love about this, and this is one of the reasons that I've supported Elizabeth Warren for a very, very long time, like back years ago when people were just saying you should run for president. I've always liked her because she does have radical ideas, but she has a plan, right? Like, and this is one of the issues that we see a lot in like Illinois, like, oh, we're gonna pay for this, we're gonna pay for this, and it's like, where's the money coming from? So this is an actual executable plan that she came up with. Like, she knows she's going to tax the ultra millionaires, right? The top 1%, the Trumps of the world. She knows exactly what percent she would tax them in addition to what they're already paying. She knows exactly how much that is, exactly how much she can cover of people's current student loans. Like, it's an actual plan. It's not just like, oh, take from the rich and give to the poor. Like, it's not like, oh, in theory this could work. It's an actual plan. And so I love that. I commend it. You're right, it might not ever happen. People might not pass it might not go through, but the fact that it's an actual, here's the issue, here's a tangible solution, here's how we can fix it in X amount of years. I mean, that's something we don't see from presidential candidates, let alone
100%.
our government. I mean, even with Obamacare, you know what I mean? Oh, we're going to give you universal health care. Here's the date to sign up. But it was never like how are you going to pay for it? It was never a percentage. It was never a concrete plan. It was just like, yeah, universal health care, and you have to pay for it. You know, even with the wall, with Trump, you know what I'm saying? It's like this is the first time I can ever remember someone coming with a radical idea on their presidential pedestal and saying, this is how it can actually happen. So for that, it makes me feel like maybe it could.
I would hope so. Like I say, to have all the student loan debt, people can't get car loans, can't buy houses because of all the debt.
Right.
And they want you to go to school for all these years to get an education, but you have no way to pay for it. It's just been a system, a sliding scale that just added up, and it's built over so long that it's a huge problem. It's 100% needs to be removed in one way, shape, or form. And I do appreciate and I do understand the fact that she actually has a plan, a way for it to happen. I just don't think it would ever 100% get approved at the end of the day. 2, great candidate. She has great, radical, forward-thinking ideas. And even the same problem that we had with Hillary Clinton, I think the simple fact that she lost is that no matter what, no matter how many great ideas they have, there are going to be some people, and it's not me, like I don't mind if you have a woman president, there are going to be some males out there that can never see themselves rooting or actually answering to a woman as a president. That's just where we are. I mean, racism is huge. Bigotism is huge. People that look down on women, it still exists. We see it on social media all the time. So that might be another problem facing her actually winning. So a couple roadblocks, but kudos to her for having great forward-thinking ideas.
Yep, absolutely. We'll continue to follow the presidential nominees as they come forward with their other ideas. B.Hun's favorite, Bernie Sanders. And then, of course, we'll post this on Facebook so you can chime in.
Absolutely. I would love to get your thoughts because that's a great topic. But, obviously we'll see what happens.
But you're a Debbie Downer, so it's all never happen.
And normally I'm the positive guy of the podcast, but I got to call a spade a spade. That ain't happening. That just did not happen. All
right, we'll see.
Absolutely.
We'll see.
But
y'all can take my student loans any day. I'm just saying.
I wish that was out back in the day. But, hey, if for all those in the future, if you just have no student loan debt, man, there's so much more things you can do in life if you just didn't have student loan debt. It's taking people years and years, like 10 plus years out of college to pay it back. So
more than that, crazy.
It's nuts. It's nuts. It's a crazy system. So speaking of crazy systems, the NFL draft is this weekend. Love it. One of the girls I work with is like a cheerleader for the Tampa Bay Bucks. So she's always like, I guess tomorrow they have like a big watch party at the stadium where they have like free food and drinks. It'll be a cool time. So for all those living under a rock, if you haven't been watching sports, ESPN, Fox Sports, all they've been talking about. The NFL draft starts tomorrow, starts on Thursday. So when you hear this episode, it may be happening right as we speak. So I know the first round is tomorrow. It's a great, great day. I love it. I mean, your favorite players you've been watching from college will most likely be getting drafted tomorrow. A lot of teams need players. Now, this is a pivotal year for the NFL. Like, a lot of teams need to make sure they have the right NFL draft. A lot of times can sink their ship by not drafting the right players. So Kyler Murray is still predicted as of now to go first to the Arizona Cardinals. I know they've been trying to refute statements, which I don't think are true. I still think he is the number one player. So I'm not sure if you got a chance, Cait, to do your research, but going into the NFL draft, who do you think, any team out there that needs to make sure they have a good NFL draft this year? What are your thoughts?
So, I mean, obviously with the Cardinals picking first, like, it would make sense that they would pick Kyler Murray, but I honestly don't know 100% if that's going to happen. I don't think that would even be, I mean, I don't know. It's like Kyler Murray's the choice to go number one just because of what he brings to the table. But I feel like there's
Right.
a lot more organizations that could benefit from him off the bat, and I don't really think the Cardinals are that organization. I think who would be really lucky and who needs a good draft and who would be very fortunate to pick up Kyler Murray, and chances are slim because they have a fourth overall pick, but the Raiders. I mean, after John
Ooh.
Gruden's first season in this 10-year deal, he fired the GM, he traded off Khalil Mack, he got rid of Amari Cooper. It was like he got rid of all of their entire team, basically made a
Yeah.
huge splash. And I think if he could pick up Kyler Murray for the Raiders, it would be an amazing move. They got the 4th, 24th, and 27th pick, so they have a good chance of getting some good players over there to Oakland. I don't think they'll get Kyler Murray, but if they could, I feel like that would be a great, great move for Oakland.
Good pick. I think that's good. I think the Oakland Raiders need to have a good draft. Obviously, they have Antonio Brown that they just traded for. And it'll be interesting to see if they have the true confidence in David Carr to keep him, or, even make a move to move up to get Kyler Murray, or hope that Kyler Murray falls to them. Because at the end of the day, if Kyler Murray does not go number one, he may easily slip down to number 4. Because if you look at the number 2 pick, obviously the San Francisco Giants do not need a quarterback.
Right.
The New York Jets also do not need a quarterback. So, yeah, that could be a possibility. This draft is going to be interesting because it's very, lineman heavy, defense heavy, offensive lineman heavy, linebacker heavy. The actual, talent positions itself, there's not that many that are really out there. But in terms of the team, in my mind, I can always say the Detroit Lions need to have a great draft. But everyone knows that. I'm not going to be that guy and say the Lions, because I could always say that. But I think the one team that needs to have a good draft, as they have 2 picks in the top 13, is the New York Football Giants. They had a horrible season last year. They're essentially bringing Eli Manning back as of right now. We haven't heard of any issues or reports saying that they're not. They just traded Odell Beckham Jr.
Right.
They have Barkley as well on the team, who's a young future star in the making in the NFL as a running back. Hopefully he can stay healthy. So New York's a big market. I mean, they've definitely won the Super Bowls. They've definitely come down as a team, and to have 2 picks in the top 15, you have to make the right moves. If Dwayne Haskins, the quarterback from Ohio State's there, I definitely say you take him. I'm not sure why they're still banking all their chips on Eli Manning. He can't throw, and he's old right now. So I think if you can get a quarterback there, if you use the pick a little bit later, I think number 13 that they have to address almost like the best need or best player available, I think that's how the Giants should tackle this entire draft. Build up from within. They need to make sure they have a great NFL draft. I mean, there's many other teams, but I think overall, I think the Raiders are a good pick, as well as the New York Giants.
Yeah, absolutely. I think everybody's just kind of watching on the edge of their seats what the Cardinals are going to do right now. Obviously, the thought is that they're going to pick up Murray with that number 1 pick. I don't really think that would benefit them. I see them more going with a Quinnen Williams, even, a Bosa. So we'll have to see what happens. But I think Quinnen Williams is their best bet. I think that's where they really need to bolster their lineup. But we'll see what happens.
So I really think that, and I don't disagree with you in any way, shape, or form. I just think that Arizona's new coach that wants to come in with a new mindset. It'll be his first year. He did not draft Josh Rosen, who is a good quarterback. I think he could end up being possibly a top 15 NFL quarterback, but he's a very system style, has to know what's going on at all times type of quarterback, to where their new coach, and I can't for some reason, I'm drawing a blank right now, this type of style that he always runs is you need to be able to think on your feet. And if you don't think that Josh Rosen is a type of guy that can carry you to a Super Bowl, then you need to draft Kyler Murray. And the reason I say that is because you have the number 1 pick, you have a new coach. That franchise has had some struggles, ownership, management over the last 10 years. They've had a couple good runs with Kurt Warner, but at the end of the day, they almost need a fresh start. Why not do it with a flashy player, a guy who's won, has been trophy winner, he can go. I think they would make a big, big mistake not drafting Kyler Murray. Josh Rosen is decent. He's a good quarterback. Kyler Murray, in my opinion, has a chance to be great.
Yeah, we'll have to see what happens. Gotta love NFL draft.
Yeah, and it's funny, it's all week. I think it's Thursday, Friday, Saturday. So if you're a football fan, this is a great time to be a fan and just see like where your favorite college players you've watched for the last couple years, just to see where they end up.
Yeah, for
We'll
sure.
be talking about that next week to get some highlights and see where some teams landed and where they fell coming up next week. But switching and moving into our Everything Chicago segment, always for our city. I know I talked about a music festival a little bit earlier, Sunset Music Festival here in Tampa, but one of the staple music festivals in Chicago is celebrating this year its 10th anniversary special. That is North Coast Music Festival. And the great part about North Coast Music Festival, it's always been in Chicago, the same location. But this year, for its 10th anniversary, they're actually moving to Northerly Island. And I'm not sure, have you ever been to a concert at Northerly Island before, Cait?
I've never heard of Northerly Island. Yeah.
It is amazing. So you need to find a concert and go there. So it's
Okay.
it's off downtown Chicago, but it's literally an island, and off the island is literally a big concert venue. So a lot of big artists go there. I know Post Malone had a concert there once. I know Big Sean's had a concert there once. I've been there a couple times to see a couple artists. So I'm curious to how they pull this off, but they're actually going to do an entire festival there this time. So I think it's a dope experience. It's off the water. You can like see the city behind you. So it's actually a cool experience. Even at nighttime, you can see like the city of Chicago, all the lights, like everything lit up. So going to be a great event. It's a little interesting because I feel like this event is very like EDM heavy, but they do have Major Lazer headlining. They do have Bass Nectar headlining. Flex Pavilion will be there as well, among many, many more. So it's always over Labor Day weekend. Tickets will be going on sale. If they're not on sale right now, very, very soon. May have to be in the house for that. I think that is an amazing venue. And I think it's a great shakeup. Being, 9 years in one venue, shaking things up, going to a new venue and almost hitting the restart button. North Coast is always a great event. So I think you should actually go. I know you're a big music festival fan, but I think you should go.
Well, it's not like I'm not a big one. It's just that I've never really been to a lot of them. There just weren't a lot of music festivals in South Georgia, believe it or not. So maybe
Really?
I'll check this one out. Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's like podunk little town. You know what I'm saying?
I think you would go. You would like it.
Yeah, there was a farm tour once. Who's that country guy that everybody likes? Luke Bryan came and played on the farm. I did not attend, but
Yeah, you do Country Thunder in Wisconsin all the time, which I know is a big country festival that people love going to.
Yeah. And that went to like Jacksonville, Florida, which wasn't far from Valdosta, where I was from. But yeah, not much EDM in Valdosta, Georgia.
They have like one festival I feel like that they bring some like EDM artists out to.
Yeah.
I don't remember what it's called. But they do what they need to have. They need to have a Rolling Loud, which is a hip hop festival they do in Miami. They do in California, cool. And they do in New York. It's like they have like almost every big hip hop artist at one of like the different sets that they have. They need to do a Rolling Loud Chicago. So anyone that listens that put on music festivals, since we promoted a lot, you need to get a Rolling Loud in Chicago. I think it'll be dope.
Make it happen. Okay, Moving on to some other Chicago news. So kind of a cool story that I wanted to share. There is this barber named David McDonald, just moved to Chicago from West Palm Beach, Florida. And he's been a barber for 30 years, decided to chill out in Southside Chicago down on 63rd Street and give away free haircuts. It's very cool. It's made the news and he's kind of gone viral. Apparently it started with him seeing a young man that was going to a job interview and just being like, hey, do you need a haircut? And giving it to him for free. And then now he's just cutting people's hair on the south side of Chicago, trying to spread a little love, give back to the community. I thought this was a freaking awesome story, something we don't see a lot in the news. And, I love like Chicago and I love the Midwest in general because I feel like people that are from here are so much nicer than other places, and the people who move here just adopt that mentality. I know you think it's crazy, but anybody who really has lived in the South knows that Southern hospitality isn't really that big of a thing, and people in the Midwest are way nicer. And so I love this. I thought this was a great story.
Yeah, amazing story. Shout out to him. I think it's great to come into a new city, basically like putting your stamp down, say this is how I'm going to help people. It was funny because in the article it said that these free haircuts are going to pass one day. So it is obviously he has to make money long term. So it is limited time, but it'll definitely, get people in the good graces. Some people, they can't afford haircuts. Like even if they're only $5, like $5 goes a long way. So I think it's an amazing idea that he's doing that. It's great for the city. It'll keep the morale up. So shout out, always kudos. You will never hear anything bad from me when someone's doing something great for the city.
Show.
Speaking of the city and someone doing something great, so for all those, the Whalberg brothers, including Mark Whalberg, if you've ever been out east in Massachusetts, you've heard of Whalberger, but now, finally, I'm going to try this out because I've heard great things. They are finally opening their doors. Today is the first day that it's open in River North off of 2 East Ontario Street. So it's great because the bar actually serves wine, cocktails, and draft beers from local places as well as a part of the bar too. But obviously, the Whalberg family are rooted in Massachusetts, and obviously they come to Chicago a lot. They pander with locals, and they kind of decorated to like bring some of the scene of Chicago as well too. So make sure you check it out. You definitely should check it out. It's a 5,000 square foot restaurant as well. I guess it's the 30th Whalbergs in North America, downtown River North. I'm sure it'll be a great place to go. I want to check it out. You definitely should, Cait.
Yeah, I'm going to take my team there next week, actually, for lunch.
Oh, yeah?
I'm really excited. Yeah, I saw, like, they were on the news today. It was packed. It just opened today for lunch for the first time. It was, like, packed out. There were people there that were, like, from Boston, and they were, like, being interviewed with their Boston accents. And it was so funny. And they were like, we've been waiting for Whalbergers to come here. Like, this is the best hamburger in Chicago. And I was like, I don't know about all that. But I'm definitely going to go check it out. I'm excited.
Well, we'll report back. You said you're going this weekend or when?
We're going next week. We're going as a team outing, my work.
Okay.
I'm going to take my team for a burger at Whalberger.
Well, you'll have to give your review of Whalberger. Do a Yelp review. You're not a Yelper, are you?
Right. No.
Oh my God, please.
Come on, no. But I'm not gonna lie, I look at Yelp, but I don't leave reviews. But I'm gonna look.
Oh God, this one girl told me recently she's a Yelper. Like she leaves Yelp reviews. I'm like, oh, you're one of those people that you're a Yelper. That's crazy to meet someone that actually is a Yelper. Yeah. I feel like they're always like bots, like fake people that leave those reviews. But they're actually people that really exist that do it. We'll have to find out, take a poll if you're a Yelper or not.
Yeah, actually, someone told me once, like, bragged to me about, like, how long, or I guess, like, if you're a Yelper, you get, like, a score. Anyway, this guy, like, bragged to me about, like, what his Yelper score was, and I was like, bro, that's, like, bragging what your Uber score is. Like, give me a break. Right. Go away. I don't need you in my life.
Funny. That's awesome.
All right, moving on to some other news. So, as you know, Avengers Endgame is coming out, and what's it released tonight, I think, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. So tonight is the premiere, and they've been moving, premieres to Thursdays at midnight, like a lot more often. I don't really understand, like, why it's happening. Just more time at the box office, I guess. But they're saying that it's going to make such a break at the box office and go so crazy that they are showing, like, basically 24/7 showings of Avenger Endgame at AMC's here in Chicago. So it includes several theaters, around-the-clock showings, including the River East location. And you can literally go see it at like 6 o'clock in the morning. That includes IMAX, that includes 3D, that includes regular. You could just watch it around the clock. Like, that's how many people they're expecting to come see this movie.
I think it's a great idea. I mean, if you're going to get people out sooner, there will be diehards that actually go out and watch it. And am I going to watch it? Probably not. I'm not really an Avengers person, but don't knock anyone that really does it. But around-the-clock openings, will this be a trend? Yes, I definitely think it's going to be a trend. I think it's going to keep happening more, even like, having the Netflix movies that have been coming out and becoming more popular. I think people just like to have things at their grasp or at their disposal at all times. So if there's a market for it and get people to the movies at 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, and people are going to go, why not have people there to have the movie theaters open if it's profitable and they're going to make money. You can do the same thing with like Netflix movies and watch it all the time too. So you know what? If people are enjoying it and they're going to support it, I am all for around-the-clock movie watching.
I just can't imagine what the ROI is. Like, I just can't imagine them really being able to make enough money staying open 24/7 for like one movie. You know what I'm saying? Like, right. I mean, I don't know. It doesn't really make sense to me, but this is projected to be like the biggest opening weekend of all time. And we say that like every time a Marvel movie comes out. So I guess we'll have to see what happens, but totally interesting story. And listen, if you are trying to see it at 6 a.m., you can go tomorrow, 6 a.m. Be there.
You going?
Heck no.
Minion.
Heck no. I don't even know,
No.
honestly, if I'll be able to see this one in the theaters because it's going to be really long. And I have a hard time sitting still for a long time.
Absolutely.
So I don't
I'm
know if
with
I'll
you
be
on
able to do
that.
that. Yep. That is Everything Chicago, brought to you by Showtime and its show, The Shy. Brand new episodes coming out Sundays. Right now, we are deep into season 2, and you can catch up on season 1 and season 2 with a free 1-month subscription to Showtime. Go to showtime.com and use promo code alternative. Let them know you heard it here.
Yep, and make sure you enter in alternative properly. Please do. I know some other codes for some other podcasts have been entered wrong, so we have been forced and told to be stressed to make sure you're spelling alternative properly. So you
Right.
have until May the 7th, I think it is, or the May 6th?
May 6th.
May
Yeah.
6th. I think of May 7th because my daughter's birthday is on May the 7th, which I was actually just
Mm.
talking to my mom about that today. I need to get her a gift soon. So
Happy birthday, one
yeah.
month of Showtime.
Yeah, you can give my
Terrible.
daughter a birthday gift by giving her a free month of Showtime. That is a great idea. But yeah, make sure you check out The Shy. It's an amazing show. And now, switching to quick hits. I know we talked about T.I. last week because he was beefing with Kodak Black. And I said it was stupid to be beefing with the kid. I don't care about you anyway. But I'm glad to see that T.I. is back on his feet. And this is the T.I. that we need. This is the T.I. that he needs to be at all times. So over Easter Day, I know previously he was able to round up with New Birth Missionary Baptist Church in Lithonia, Georgia, and was able to raise and launch a $40,000 fundraising campaign. He exceeded the goal of $120,000, and what that did, it was a bailout program that was able to brighten the day of 23 people on Easter and bailed those out of jail for those that had like nonviolent crimes and for simple crimes that they should not be sitting in jail for because they did not have the bail money to get them out. That's the T.I. that I know and love, the goodwill T.I. that does things for good people, not the beef in T.I., but what do you think? Is this a great deed or what?
Heck yeah. I mean, it doesn't have to be discussed. Like, to me, T.I. is always going to be one of my favorites, one of the OGs. I feel like he gives back to his community. He's so active in Atlanta, in Georgia. Like, he's that person that comes and does, like, the little shows. He's so good live. He's so good with his fans. I've gotten to meet him twice. Just super awesome guy. And so I love to hear him doing things like this.
Absolutely. Great
Love it.
deed.
I wish this was more the trend, honestly. I wish people were using their influence for good like this more often.
I agree.
All right, moving on to some basketball news, NBA playoffs. We are deep into the second round. What is the most intriguing matchup going on now?
So it should be soon. And first and foremost, we didn't get to mention this. I was going to talk about this sooner, but man, Damian Lillard with maybe the shot of the century, like shooting it for almost half court, buzzer beater, to not only win the game against Oklahoma City, to end the series, show its domination over Westbrook. He waved them high five, like bye-bye on the way out. The crowd went nuts. That's just an amazing moment, and like makes me remember why you love sports. Just to see like moments like that. That was a legendary moment that's going to elevate Damian Lillard into the next phase of his career in the NBA. And people are really going to know, not that they didn't know who he was, but he's a true superstar. And I'm glad that he's getting that shine to show it now. He's still not better than Kyrie Irving. For all those, I've seen a lot of people on Facebook saying that he's better. No, Kyrie's the man, but Damian Lillard is a great player. But I digress. Speaking of second-round matchups, I did mention Kyrie Irving. Boston versus Milwaukee. That is by far and away the best second-round series. I'm very, very excited for that. I think the winner of the series is actually going to make the NBA Finals, so I'm still rocking with Boston. My preseason prediction has not changed, so I'm going with that series. Also, Philadelphia and Toronto will be a great series, but my pick is Milwaukee as well as Boston. I'm going Boston in 6 or 7 games. What are your thoughts?
I've been watching the Bucks. I've been keeping a close eye on them. I think they look really, really good right now. And I mean, as far as I'm concerned, I was all about Boston earlier in the season, but I think that the Bucks right now look like an NBA Finals team. So I think that they're just really exciting to watch. Obviously, we watch them just dominate the Pistons, and it's just been really great.
Hey.
Well, I'm just saying, I didn't throw shade. I just said, like, it happened. It happened. They're one of the most dominant teams in the NBA playoffs offensively right now and defensively. I mean, top-rated offense. They just look really, really hot. And that's what I'm watching at the moment. But I haven't been watching all of it. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah, it's the first round. Like a lot of the first round series, like you knew who was going to win, so it's a little bit tough.
Right.
Like I think one series right now, I think San Antonio and Denver is still playing. And a lot of the other series that are still playing are 3-1. Like you absolutely know who's going to win. So obviously we're just buying time right now. I think the second round series and the conference finals is where it's at. And I'm actually glad we have a playoffs without LeBron James. Like I feel like it's like yes,
it's nice.
Someone new. It is nice. It's like a breath of fresh air.
Nice.
Like, even one day when like Golden State breaks up, we'll have like a whole new NBA. Just you never really know who's going to come out of the East. So I think right now, I think that's the great part of what we're watching.
For sure.
Next, there's a 24-year-old man in Wisconsin. He's a freaking kid. He won the jackpot for $768 million. That is
crazy.
Insane. What's the first thing you would buy if you won that much money?
A burner phone, and I would disappear on all of y'all. No, I'm just kidding. I probably, honestly, like I've talked about, I probably would go dark. I'd go on a desert island. I'd go away for a little bit, pay off my parents' car. But honestly, I think I would probably throw a badass party, like Fire Festival 3.0.
Oh my God.
No, I don't know. But I probably would throw like a pretty badass party.
First thing, I know it sounds cliche, but I gotta take care of my parents. I buy them both because my parents have been divorced forever. But I buy my dad a banging ass house. I buy my mom a banging ass house. I buy them some cars. I set them up. That'd be the first thing that I do after I disappear. Change my number, like you said. Don't tell anyone, but I definitely would take care of the family. Like that'll be something like you have to do. And then what I would do, I would literally just travel the world for a year. I would go to every single place. I would take a girl that I'm excited to take. I don't know who that would be, but I'd find them and take them. And then I would travel the world and go somewhere at least once that I've always wanted to go to and just straight up chill and enjoy life. Like it's just, you would never be able to spend that much money. I don't care like what you did or try. You'd never be able to spend that much money.
Well, and that's what they say. Like the reason people disappear is because you can't spend that money, but all of a sudden everybody's out the woodwork asking for $5 or more probably.
$5.
And so that's like what the issue is. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, I can agree with you. Like obviously you'd have to disappear, but I think when I came back, I probably would throw like one badass party.
I feel that.
I invite everybody. Whole city of Chicago. The guy giving away free haircuts, everybody. Come on.
Facts. Good.
All right, so moving on to some movie news. Will Smith, he's going to star in this new movie coming out, just announced, Jamami Man. Is that how you say it? Jamami Man? Anyway, it's going to be released in October, so we have a few months, but it's a really interesting concept, this battle of self versus self, and I guess it's going to be like the older him versus like the younger him, which is like looking at the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air like back on screen. It's like really crazy to watch like the picture. So we're going to see, it's just going to be an interesting movie from what it looks like so far. I'm not really 100% sure what the plot line is. What are you thinking about this movie? Do you think it's going to work? Do you think it's going to be too hard to execute?
So I think Will Smith does a great job most of the time. I feel like every so often he has a clunker of a movie. So I did see this preview and I think it looks pretty good. I definitely think I'd want to watch it. I usually try to support Will Smith movies. He's just a dope dude. So I think he can pull it off. I'm much more excited to see this than like Aladdin or something like that. That's just me like personally. So I'll definitely give it a shot. I think he can pull it off, but we'll wait and see. I think he's a great actor when he's in his bag and, you really put him to a role where he really has to, like, focus and make it good. He normally delivers, so I'm going to support. I'm going to rock. I think he's going to nail it. What do you think?
Wait, is this called Gemini Man?
Yeah, what do we put?
You spelled it totally wrong in the show notes, and that's what I Googled, and it popped up. You put like Jamami, and I was like, okay.
It could have been a typo, possibly. Who knows?
Yeah,
or I could have just been way wrong.
Because that's what I just said, and then I've Googled, but that's what popped up when I Googled it. But then
I was wondering, what the hell is Jamami?
This wrong. Jamami. Will Smith's brand new Jamami Man. Anyway, I'm excited. I rock with Will Smith. I always have. I really don't think he's ever done that many. I can't think of one movie he's ever done that hasn't been good. Name a movie he's done that has been a clunker.
What was that? The movie when he was the cowboy, Wild Wild West. That movie's stupid.
Oh, whatever.
That was horrible. Come on. And then
But
like,
the
remember that
theme
song he had
song.
with Cisco? That sucked. That
Well,
whole
yeah,
thing was
but
horrible. But normally he does deliver, so I will give you that. But
I was gonna say, yeah, but that was a long time ago. Like,
there's been more. I can't think of the name. There's one off the top of my head. I'll find it and I'll tell you later. But there's another. He's had a couple
you let me know because I can't think of any clunker he's been in.
Oh God.
I mean, I believe you, but it is funny to look at the movie poster. He looks just like Jaden. Holy.
That is nuts, right?
I didn't realize how similar they looked until I saw that. It was super crazy.
Moving on, Naperville native, always
Yep.
back to Chicago. James Holzhauer, I think is his name. He set the record for largest amounts won in a single game of Jeopardy, which is over $1 million after 14 wins. Man, that's amazing. He's the second person to ever reach the $1 million mark. If you were to be on a game show, which game show would you choose and why?
Wheel of Fortune.
I knew you were going to say that.
Yes. Like, I'm really nerdy when it comes to, like, words and puzzles. I've always been, like, really good at words and logic and stuff like that. So I feel like I would kill that game. And then also, like, yeah, that's it. I would just kill it. I would win. That's all I got. What about you?
My mom loves that show. She, like, still watches it, like, faithfully. Like, if it's on at 7 o'clock at night and she's home, she always watches that show. She'd be great at it because she's always, like, picking the answers. Like, I can, like, pick the letters and stuff, but, like, say, like, yeah, I think I wouldn't be as great as that game as it seems. It seems easy, but I feel like if you're on that stage and the pressure of the moment, I probably suck at it. I don't know about you.
Oh, yeah,
but
for sure. And they're, like, and the buzzer, and it's, like, counting down. Yeah, like, you're
all that pressure.
Yeah, it's like, yeah.
Absolutely.
Exactly. Okay, what about you?
I would love to take my family. I even asked them to do this. When you mention family, I want my family to go on Family Feud. I think we would nail it. That show's hilarious. I really want them to try out. I think a couple people would do it, but I don't have the rest on board. So I am working on it. I think one day, get on there with Steve Harvey and clown, win some money. I think I would nail Family Feud. I love shows like that. I think it's hilarious. I think it's a good time. Good way to bring your family together, and you can win a lot of money. So I think Family Feud would be my choice if I got to pick.
Cool. Love it.
Ooh, it's
yeah.
me.
Okay.
Drake.
Like,
Oh, God. And I threw this in here because we got to talk about this. Someone needs to tell Drake to stop going to sporting games. Whenever he goes to a sporting game and supports your team, you're going to lose. It's happened to Kentucky. Like, it's happened, I think, to Duke. It's happened to the Raptors. It's happened to, like, many other teams where all of a sudden he thinks that you're his favorite team when I don't know why he does it. Drake never, ever went to the Toronto Maple Leafs games for hockey. Of course, he goes to the game, and they lost. And they didn't just lose. They ended up losing the series when everyone thought Toronto might go very far, and now their season is over. So I'm asking you, is the Drake sports curse a real thing?
Yeah, it's as real as the Madden curse. So it's as real as you want it to be. So that's fine. If you don't want Drake to come to your games, kick him out.
I think it's real. I mean, for some reason, he just thinks he's Billy Badass. He can go support your team, and then your team just loses. So whenever Drake comes to your game, and if he's rooting for you, you need to tell Drake to go home. Go get the hell out of here.
Please tell Drake to go home.
You
like,
can
I
watch
would
from the
love
bar.
To see someone do that.
But the second he roots for you and wants you to win, you are going to lose. The Drake curse is 100% real.
Okay. That's silly. Curses don't exist.
Maybe.
Okay,
what
so
was that
noise? Drake is my boy, and I don't appreciate this.
Yeah. I love Drake too. Amazing rapper, but he's definitely a bad sports curse.
Yeah. Okay, so moving on to some other interesting Hollywood news. So Nicole Kidman has been bragging in a recent interview that her 8 and 10-year-old kids are the only ones in their classes that don't have phones or Instagram accounts. She said because they are, quote, famous, she wants to keep boundaries. So these are like famous kids or whatever. I mean, not even like regular kids. So keeping that in mind, what age do you think kids should be getting cell phones?
So my daughter is going to be 9 years old. She does not have a cell phone. She does have an iPad. But I do get worried, like if she's like somewhere without her parents and something happens, like what the hell are we gonna do? What the hell did
Right.
we used to do as kids? And we go out, on bikes. I'd be all over the city of Detroit
Right.
with no cell phone. If something happened, like what do we do? But I guess at the end of the day, we figured it out. So
Well, there were
I'm not sure.
payphones too.
Yeah, but
You'd
we'll
have
just, let
payphones
me stop and get a
places.
payphone and put a quarter in. I know.
Oh,
It
we
was a lot-
did.
yeah, it was a lot of work. I remember we used to like prank call people on
Oh
payphones.
yeah.
Oh my god! I remember one time we had to go to Bible study. I know I'm digressing like motherfucker this episode, but one time we had to go and we had Bible class and they had a payphone in the Bible class, and me and this kid kept calling 911 and hanging up. And one day
Oh
the
my
cop showed up.
God.
Oh my god! I got in so much trouble for that.
My
That was
brother did that at the supermarket once, and he got in trouble too.
the cops came and they were like,
Yeah.
"Who's doing this?"
Exactly.
Anyway, I will say that I feel like my daughter should get one probably around like 11 or 12, like when she's actually mature to handle it. And the reason being is because I see so many kids when they have their phones now, they become addicted to it. Like even their iPads, they become
Yeah.
addicted to it. And I don't want to become a robot, which is like kind of like where we are. There's this girl here at work who averages 11 hours on her phone a day. Like her screen time is on 11 hours a day. And imagine if you sleep for like 8 hours a day, that's like 19 plus hours a day. Like only 5 hours of the day she's not on her phone. That's just insane, like where we are. So I'm going to say 11 to 12. What about you? Isn't that nuts?
Jeez,
That's a
how does
lot.
she even know that?
We looked because you can like see, you can search like your on screen time average, and it said 11
Oh my
hours
God.
a
I'm
day.
sure mine is like that high. Honestly,
No, it won't be.
my phone does not stop going off. Like because I use my phone for personal and for work, and literally
Right.
it goes off all the freaking time. It is
You should check.
insane. It gives me panic attacks. Yeah, I have to figure out how to do that. I'm gonna check. Anyway, I think I think 12 or 13. Like I think that they absolutely should know how to work phones. That's cool.
Mm-hmm.
But to me, I really struggle with what happens if your kid is like alone and caught in an emergency? And I'm like, but like, why would a 10-year-old or 8-year-old be alone caught in an emergency? Like the chances of that happening, I think are way more slim. Like watch your children and then they can get a phone when they're actually old enough to be home alone. That's just kind of like how I feel. Like 9-year-olds shouldn't be home alone anyway. So I don't know. 11, 12, 13. Like I feel like that's the right age.
We should do a poll about that because I feel like obviously some of our listeners have kids. I think that'll be a great discussion to talk about. So I see a lot of young kids with phones. I'm like, what the hell?
Oh, yeah.
You have a phone already? Like it's just nuts. But hey, I can't knock parents for why they do it if it's going to keep them safe. But teach their own.
Right. I've heard of like 7-year-olds having phones. Like why? Like for what purpose?
My little nephew had a phone at like 10 years old, and he's crazy now. So who knows? No, he's a good kid. Bakari's a good kid. I love that guy.
Oh.
Lastly, before we get into our clown of the week, so supermarkets out there are testing cameras with face recognition to watch you as you shop, and it says it's better to cater to your needs as a consumer. Is this smart out or Big Brothers? What is going on with this?
Yeah, it's freaking crazy. So if you go to a grocery store that's currently testing this feature right now, there's cameras around that will like do a face scan. They use this AI technology. They're going to guess your age, your gender, your mood, like everything about you. And then they're using it to create like a marketing demo for people who buy certain products. And they're bringing it to the companies and retailers and using this to pitch better marketing, quote unquote. I think it is Big Brother as hell. Like this is 10 out of 10 creepy factor for me. I don't want to be watched while I shop, let alone while I do anything else. And like, I get that AI is really awesome, but I think that this is taking it too far.
Yeah, I absolutely think that that's crazy. I don't want people watching, but I think the crazy part is people watch us all the time. Like, I don't know what's going on. I'm not trying to be a conspiracy theorist, but our phones are everywhere. You just never know. I feel like the government always knows like what we're doing as it is. So whether we know it or not, I feel like we're always being watched. Like we're being tracked for things. That's how they like manage the world. So we're definitely being watched, but I definitely don't need to be watched while I'm shopping. That's fucking creepy.
Yeah. Roll into the grocery store, pick up a vitamin water. They know everything about you.
Super, super creepy. So I will pass on that.
Agreed. Fan of the week? Or wait, what are we doing now?
Clown of the week.
Next? Clown of the week. Yeah. Fan of the week. Clown of the week.
Which we did. I'm sorry, guys. We did not have a fan of the week this week. we slipped up on that, so it won't happen again. We'll definitely have a fan of the week. Actually, have one in mind for next week, so I'm gonna actually wait for next week. So fan of the week will be returning, but this person is not a fan of the week. They are in fact a true clown of the week. So Lori Loughlin, obviously, she was the one who got in trouble for being the mastermind, her and her husband, of sending her kid to college and obviously making bribes and everything to get their kid into schools that they had no business being in. So this story just came out, and obviously they're just trying to cover their backs right now. And they are saying they didn't fully grasp that their alleged bribery in the college admissions scandal was illegal. They thought that they did not know the legalities of what was going on, and they thought that what they were doing was normal, and they felt that other parents bribe and pay for things, and that's what normal parents with money do. So she's saying that she never intended to break any laws, and if she did, it was inadvertent. So if you remember, on March 12th, they charged 50 people, including Loughlin, and any others, for basically faking test scores, like paying people to get their kids into colleges that they had no business being in or being allowed into. And these fools are trying to claim that they did not know that they were making a mistake and that this was a bribe and was considered illegal. Nice try, but you're definitely the clown of the week for this, because we know you knew it was illegal. You're trying to cover your tracks. You're trying to cover your ass. The crazy part about it is I think that the feds, or like whoever is trying to say that they should only do like a few months, like 4 to 6 months of jail time for this, which is absolutely insane. Like, that's not that much time for how much money that they bribed them with. So nice try. Not going to work. Definitely sorry. You are the clown of the week.
Yeah, that was funny. We didn't know it was illegal to bribe university officials
right.
to get our kid into a school they didn't deserve to be in.
That is nuts.
Super good. That was a really good one. Okay, so my
Thanks.
clown of the week. You're welcome. My clown of the week goes to this really awesome fan at Coachella. So if you missed it, Coachella went down last weekend. Ariana Grande was there. She put on a really amazing set. Fans were there cheering her on, loving her. And her fans go to bat for her, for one. So that even makes this even more ridiculous. But a fan in the audience decided to throw a lemon at Ariana Grande when she came out on stage, and it was caught on camera, and the fans are going crazy, like they were tweeting about it, like, really, how immature. And if you watch the video, like a legit lemon flies out of the audience and hits Ariana Grande. And so, first of all, I just want to know, like, who hates somebody that much to throw a lemon at a concert? And, like, why did you have a lemon at Coachella? And, like, where did you get this lemon? And then also, like, why Ariana Grande? And if you don't like her enough to throw a lemon, like, why were you standing close enough to actually throw a lemon? I just, like, have a lot of questions on, like, the lemon. And that person is my clown of the week, because I just feel like you could have done way better things with that lemon, like taking a lemon drop shot and not thrown it at Ariana.
Beyonce fans, they will ride for her to the death. Like, they will kill someone in support of Beyonce.
They would have, like, tied her down and made her eat that lemon. They would have been like, but Ariana fans just, like, trolled on Twitter, you know.
Shout out to Ariana, though, for bringing out my guy Justin Bieber. I've missed him. We need more music. Glad to see he's good. He's doing okay. We need Bieber.
Where's Justin Bieber been?
It's been 2 years. He's obviously getting married. He, like, found God. He's been chilling. And you know what? And I don't blame him. You get so famous, so young, you get all that money. Like, you go a little crazy. You just need to hit the reset button. He's still a young kid. But, yes, Bieber Belly is back in 2019. He said new music is on the way.
Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, speaking of, like, child stars and, like, getting young so famous, you heard, like, Britney Spears checked herself back into basically, like, mental facility. Like, she's on the verge of another breakdown. She's going through treatment right now, so it's sad. You see it happen a lot.
She looked terrible. I don't know if you saw a picture. She didn't look good, so I don't know. I thought she was doing great. Like, I thought she had, like, a Vegas residency and all that. I thought she was killing it, but never really knows what someone's going through on the inside, apparently.
Nope. Definitely not.
It's a great episode. It was a lot of fun. That was funny. Went through some good topics. So appreciate you as always. What you got for our listeners before we get up out of here?
That's it.
Yep, that's all I got. Make sure, obviously, check out the Shy as well. Obviously,
Yeah.
make sure you support Sunset Music Festival. If you're in Tampa, we'll keep doing promos and things like that leading up to. And, yeah, that's it. We appreciate you all for listening. So have a good rest of the weekend. Enjoy the NFL Draft. Hope your team does great. And we'll be back with episode 87 next week. So we're out of here. This is B.Hun.
And Cait.
And we are out. We love you all. Peace.
Bye.